Involved.
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 Our program today takes us to an area of the U.S. that may not be so familiar to many. Nevertheless, the people there have a lot to share because they are all very involved in activities and groups in their everyday lives. Today we will spend time with a horse breeder, various kinds of workers, people in a youth group, and a pastor in his church, plus the people they interact with every day in the place where they live and work, in Kentucky. Working with horses is a very demanding job, which means many people must be involved. Learn something about a professional stud farm as you listen to some of the people who work there.
My name is Josephine Abercrombie, and I live here in Kentucky. I moved here from Texas quite a long time ago, and I raise horses here in Kentucky.
And the name of where we are is?
You're at Pin Oak Farm in Versailles, Kentucky, and this is the heart of the bluegrass country.
Tell us something about your farm.
Well, this place that you see was just a farm, a plain farm. People grew crops here. There was nothing but barbed wire fences, no grass, no fences, no, nothing as it is now, no driveways, nothing. And we bought the farm and have built all the fences and all the roads, the barns, everything. We've done it all here. And it's turned out to be pretty much what we want.
And how long have you been here now?
I've had this farm now for about 10 or 12 years. I've been in Kentucky for a long time, since 1949, but this particular farm I've had for about 10 years now. And it's turned into a place that I just adore. I don't want to be anywhere else.
Can you give us some details about the farm?
Well, for instance, we have stallions here. We breed mares. We have 6 stallions, and we've raced one of them ourselves, and the others are horses that stand here that are owned by ourselves and other people. And so we breed mares, that's one thing we do. We have our own mares. We have a band of about 28 or 9 brood mares. We breed those mares, we raise the babies, we break them, as you see here. These are ones that we're breaking out here on the track right now. And we get them ready to go to the racetrack, and we race all of the young horses that we breed.
And how many horses do you have here at the moment?
Here on the farm, I'd say there are about 100, including the babies and the horses in training, the yearlings and so forth.
And why do you think horses and Kentucky are such a wonderful thing? Why did you become involved with this?
Well, in the first place, Kentucky is the place to be if you're going to raise horses because of the bluegrass. There's apparently a limestone base under all this wonderful soil, and that is the best sort of atmosphere to raise bluegrass, and that's what horses thrive on. So that's one of the reasons that Kentucky is so special for horses. And the reason I'm here is because way back in the 40s, I used to show horses, and I came here with my father, and we loved it, decided to buy a farm, and we did that. So I've been here ever since. And I'm completely involved with everything that goes on here. I'm involved with the operation, and of course Clifford Barry, the farm manager, does everything, but I'm involved with him as we work through things.
You're not coming in. I'm up here to check your legs. Come on. Come on, girl. there, little girl? What are you doing?
We have stallions here. We breed mares.
This is a horse farm that has stallions. Those are male horses. They breed horses. That means they pair horses to produce young animals, in this case, foals. And mares are the word for female horses.
We raise the babies. We break them.
When you break a horse, you train it the first time for riding.
How long will they stay here then?
I know they'll stay here till the last mare falls, so probably about 3 weeks or so.
Oh, we'll keep graping it? so?
Yeah, she's going to stay here. Well, the foal
I
will
mean,
stay
the foal?
there. Yeah,
We'll get to keep
yeah,
the foal?
the mare is going to brood mare 1, so
Well, that's
get to
good.
keep the foal here. So,
Is she really sad when they take her away?
no, she doesn't mind. She don't
doesn't?
mind at all.
Mm.
She's probably glad to be rid of it. I'd say.
Yeah, because she throws such a fit, you know, and it's...
Yeah.
it's
No,
upsetting.
she doesn't make enough milk, so she's got to put it on a nurse mare.
That's true. Well, you think she'll be next?
I'd say she'll be next. She'll probably be next. I'd say changing tunes and then
this is
probably
good for
ready
you,
just
Philly.
go.
Come on.
Now the guys from the internet.
Is this like what we do on the bloodstock research on
Yeah.
what they give us the runners, the winners
Yeah.
of our stallions?
But the guys that when they were putting in our internet told us that we can do that on ours now. But this is a different program, so just inquire into that.
Okay, is this with the? Oh, okay. This is the fellows that did our website.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jeff.
This is not the guy though.
This is not Jeff.
No, this is a different guy. But I want to talk to Jeff because he said he can do the same thing.
Okay, so
Forrest.
just ask Jeff about this.
Yeah.
I was in there this morning, and of course there weren't any horses in there. Just missed the wedding
Yeah.
and her baby.
Yeah. That foal
That's-
is doing good
That's
now.
a nice foal.
Yeah,
That's
she
really
had
a
a
nice
little
foal.
little temperature there yesterday evening, nothing much, but Dr. Fishback checked her and kind of put her on some antibiotics, just 102 or so, nothing to be too concerned about. But she's doing a whole lot better this morning. Even she's a lot
Good.
better. So
That's great.
and they'll stay here till the last mare falls. So
When a mare foals, it's a female horse having a baby.
Because she throws such a fit, you know, and
When a person or an animal throws a fit, it's very angry or shocked. The development of modern industry in an area which originally relied on classic ones takes a long time. Gain some insights into these changes through the eyes of workers who've been involved in both.
So, Bibi, tell me something about the time when you were a young man and how you started to work.
When I come out of service, my dad had got me a job in the mines, and I went to work in 1946 in the coal mine.
And did you work together with your father in the mine?
I worked under him. He was my boss.
Uh-huh.
He was a foreman.
Okay. And how long did you work in the mines then?
Only-
From 46 till...
I worked about 2.5 years.
And then what happened to the mine?
In 48, the coal mine started phasing out. So I thought I'd better be getting out of the coal mining business, and so I went to vocational training, took vocational training. And then from there I started doing repair work on vehicles.
And who organized the vocational training? Did you do that yourself? Did the company help you
No,
with that?
I did it on my own.
Uh-huh.
I did that on my own.
Okay. And how long did you go to school?
Well, I went to school 4 different times. Before I went in service, in 1939 and 1943, I took night class. Then in 51 through 53, I went under the GI Bill. The government paid me for my education then. And then I went back one time later and took night school on frame straightening, where automobiles were in wrecks and bent the frames. And I was one of the first ones around here to ever work on a frame straightening machine for automobiles. And so I went to I went to vocational training. Took
Vocational training helps you get a real job as opposed to going to university.
Then in 51 through 53, I went under the GI Bill. The government paid me.
As a soldier, you have rights after your time of duty to get further training, and the GI Bill gives money for this.
How many people worked in the mines here in Van Leer?
In the early 40s, there were approximately 8,000 people, the population in Van Leer. I don't know about how many miners there were, but if you didn't work in the mines, you didn't live in Van Leer. Here in the coal camps, we had different nationalities that worked up here. We had Czechoslovakians, Austrians, Polish, Greek, German, Russian, made up the biggest part of the population of workers up here at one time. And we also had blacks, which we had no problem with blacks. They all associated together.
Mm-hmm.
We had no problem with no foreign people. They were all good people. At one time, we had the Ku Klux Klan here in Van Leer.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like the Klan is today, destroy, search and destroy or kill or anything like that. Mostly was what it was for was people that wanted to be vagrants. They didn't allow it. I mean, you had grass growing in your yard that the company thought was too big. They would send somebody to cut your grass, and then when you drawed your payday, it was held out of it. And the Klan helped do things like that. And if you didn't make your children go to school, well, they would come and warn you. Then the next time they would bring a bundle of switches and put on your porch. Then if you didn't straighten up, then they'd take you out and use those switches on your hind end. Then when you drawed your payday, it was held out of it.
Not everyone uses standard forms when they speak. Drawed is a substandard form. You know the correct form, drew.
Then the next time they would bring a bundle of switches and put on your porch.
A switch is not only something to turn something on, but in this case, a group of small tree branches that are tied together and used to hit someone.
You notice over here is the old drift mouth where we went in to our workplace. It was about 300 feet slope, and we walked down the slope and caught what they call a man trip to take us to our working place.
I'm Wesley Whitwer. I'm from Paris, Kentucky. I was originally born in Lexington, Kentucky, and I've moved to Bourbon County when I was 3 years old. I was born and raised on a farm. There's nothing that I would enjoy any more than to be able to continue farming and to make a living farming. But due to the economics of the United States as far as agriculture goes, it's really made it tough on the farmer in America. So because of that fact, I decided that I was going to have to do something different than my forefathers and to try to get a job in a factory where I could have a good, solid salary plus insurance and be able to work and continue farming as well on the side. It's like I almost have to have a full-time job to pay for my part-time job at home farming.
My name is Charles Northcutt, and I'm maintenance supervisor at Rexroth Pneumatics. When I'm not working here at Rexroth, I'm involved in raising tobacco at home. I raise around 6,000 pounds of tobacco. When I'm not doing that, I'm also involved in giving concealed weapons classes for people that want to carry a concealed weapon. I also involved in, at the time, as a police officer part-time. I gave that up after I started to work here at Rexroth about 8 years ago. I'm also involved in giving concealed weapons classes for people that want to carry a concealed weapon.
Americans can all have weapons, but must take classes if they cannot be seen. Young People in 4-H, an organization which involves head, heart, hands, and health, are active in several projects, experience their growth in various areas, and listen to their ideas.
You walk out, make sure you see all the parts of the area so you understand what's here, and then come together and talk about the practices that need to be done. And when you discuss that among yourself, you come back to us, and one of you will defend, okay, we're going to do this, this, and this, but remember it has to be in a period of a year. Okay? Pick the things that need to be done. So look for food, look for places that they're going to nest, look at the wood lot. Is there anything that needs to be done to the woods? What needs to be done to the pond for mourning doves? Okay? You take this with you. Take a look at the area as you walk out, and then come back after you've got your heads together on that. Okay? Okay. What I've done is sent them out to the field. I've defined the boundaries of the area that they're going to study. So now they have to go out. I've given them one species, the mourning dove, which is a bird that uses fields, uses water, uses woods to nest in, and now they have to put all that knowledge about the species together.
Those are buds, aren't they? Yeah, I can see they bloom into
buds, and that's like squirrels and...
They wouldn't be buds though, would they? Because the flowers already bloomed.
Well, see, but look, it makes these little flowers.
Yeah, see, there's other flowers. See, maybe these are like leaves or something.
No, I still think it's a flower.
It's from a dogwood and that blooms, so that would be the flower.
I just think it's a flower.
So these are
all right,
butterflies.
that's just the nectar and stuff. Okay.
Alrighty.
Got it.
Here, go around the side, sir. To the left.
Go down the list, Tyler, and all of you just tell me what you would do within a year's time to manage for doves around this area that we're given here.
First, we could brush, chop, or mow.
And why?
Because the grass would get too high and the doves can't get in there because they think they're going to get eaten.
Yeah, they're little.
Okay.
And line ponds and fields. We weren't given any information about the ponds, and there's no signs of much nitrogen out there. There's some broom sedge out there, but not
typically
enough.
broom sedge is a sign of what?
High.
Especially in 4-H, we don't want to do programs just for kids. We want to develop their leadership skills and actually get them involved in making some of their own decisions. So I just brought the notebook, so maybe we can look through it, and if you had any ideas, we can jot those down.
Okay.
You have any ideas of things we might get started with?
To get started, we probably, a good icebreaker would be a role play or some type of interaction to get everyone loosened up and ready to go for the workshop.
Okay. So we can get them involved in this workshop right from the very beginning.
Right from the beginning. That way they don't feel like they're holding back. They should hold back through the whole workshop. They can just dive right into it.
Okay. Another thing I was thinking about when we wrote these workshops, we talked about that anytime we did it just for youth, we would prefer to have youth presenting the workshops so they're not intimidated by adults. So I think it would be better if we got just a group of teens together to actually do this workshop.
Okay. That's probably a good idea.
Is there anything else that you think that we should include?
Well, a really important workshop, in my opinion, is the benefits and challenges, because it just gives everyone a chance to really consider what's going on between youth and adults, and they get to kind of express their opinion, and it makes the teens feel a lot better when they can voice their opinion instead of just listening to everyone and listening to a lecture.
I like when we do the benefits and challenges and then we show them a list that we've taken from an adult workshop, and they can see how similar they are to each other. So maybe we should remember to do that too.
Okay.
Thanks for your ideas. This is a good place to get started.
Definitely.
And if you had any ideas, we can jot those down.
To jot down means to write something very quickly.
Hello, my name is Edwin Orange, and I'm currently serving as president of Kentucky 4-H. I'm also a member of the National 4-H Technology Corps. I joined the National Technology Corps in April of last year. Technology Corps has many interesting projects going on right now, but one of the most interesting is using Internet Relay Chat to communicate with others around the United States. I recently helped the 4-H agents in Kentucky use the Internet Relay Chat to communicate among themselves in planning their national conference, which will be held in November. I also worked with a group of 4-Hers on the Technology Corps to help develop a t-shirt design. These 4-Hers had never met each other before and lived across the United States in different states. But using Internet Relay Chat, they were able to design a t-shirt, post that design to a web page, then email a distributor of t-shirts that designed the t-shirt and printed it, and then they distributed the t-shirt among themselves at National 4-H Conference. I'm also a member of the National 4-H Technology Corps.
Watch the word core, people with a common activity, in the pronunciation. Religious groups in the U.S. have to be involved to survive. Accompany a pastor with his congregation to discover what role their beliefs play in their lives.
Welcome to the Episcopal Church of the Good Shepherd. The Episcopal Church is the American branch of the Church of England, spread all over the world in 36 member provinces, and we've been on this site since 1923. We started out in 1887 as a mission of Christ Church Cathedral, the first Episcopal church in Kentucky, down on Broadway Street in a small house. We then moved a little bit closer to our current location, but were burned out in 1918 on New Year's Day. That's when we purchased this land here on East Main Street. Then we built up some plans for a church that we would like to have under the enterprising command of a very involved priest, the Reverend Thomas Settle, an Englishman. About the same time he came to town, the Kentucky General Assembly, our legislature, was considering outlawing parimutuel horse race betting, a staple of the Kentucky economy. Needless to say, many people in Lexington were very concerned. So the Reverend Settle, concerned about the future of many of his parishioners, made some comments at dinner parties that eventually landed him on the floor of the General Assembly, where he argued against the legislation that would have outlawed the betting, and that bill was defeated by 1 vote. Now, horse people from across the country and around the world were very grateful because Reverend Settle had really saved their livelihoods, and so they asked him, "What can we do for you?" They said, "We know, we'll buy you one of Henry Ford's finest new cars. You'll be able to go around in style to visit your people." And he said, "No thanks, I'm a horseman. I don't really want a car." Well, they said, "Well, how about, a nice house to live in?" He says, "I've already got a very nice house. Thanks very much, and moving's such a pain." They said, "Well, Reverend, we're so grateful for all that you've done for us. What can we do?" And he says, "Well, I've got these plans for a church. I'd like you to help me build it." And so in 1923, men and women, Jew, Christian, and Muslim from all across the country and around the world donated nearly $300,000, which in the 1920s was an awful lot of money. It would be worth millions of dollars today, to build this parish. And now we have what you see before us. It was dedicated in 1926, and the first Eucharist was celebrated here in October of that year. It seats around 400 people and has been an active, vibrant parish ever since, active throughout the community in Lexington, sponsoring lecturing forums, concerts with our fine choir, along with strings selected from the Lexington Philharmonic. And it's gone through an interesting cast of characters throughout the decades that it's been on this site. Many of the wood carvings that you'll find here in the parish were imported from Germany, Oberammergau, I believe. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, but it was John and Alois Long. And these have adorned our church for over 70 years, and many people, when they come, simply can't leave because they find it so attractive. We also have wonderful stained glass windows in the lower tier of our nave where the congregation sits. These were, this glass was taken from Germany. It was blown there over 200 years ago, but never set into any stained glass form. They were imported in the 1920s and 1930s, cut and set in a stained glass factory in Ohio, and they've adorned our chapel and provide us with the gospel stories in picture, which has been a wonderful addition. and has been an active, vibrant parish ever since.
The word parish only refers to a religious community and not a political one.
Tonight we're going to talk about a little bit about interpretation. And then after we've done that, we're going to go on to Open Bible, and tonight we'll be covering, starting with chapter 3 and verse 1 and going to chapter 4, verse 6. And we'll continue with the same sort of method we had last week. We're going to read through it all the way through, and you can follow along in your Bibles. Then we'll have an opportunity for some questions and comments. And then we'll talk about the thematic issues that present themselves within the course of the overarching text. After we've done that, we're going to talk about how those issues, how those themes pertain to us personally. And then we're going to broaden the focus out a little bit to talk about how that affects our parishes and our participation in those parishes. And then we're going to go a little bit farther out, and we're going to include our German friends, and how does this affect the world? So for instance, last week in chapter 2, you got a lot of talk about light and dark. Well, where is the darkness in this world, and how can the light penetrate it? What about our parish? What about ourselves? And last week we went from the world to ourselves. This week we're going to reverse the order a little bit. And then if we have enough time, I'd like to ask those who journaled what kind of experience that was. So, without further ado, our first listening exercise, if you'd close your Bibles, is 1 John chapter 3, 11 through 18. I've asked Melanie to read that for us.
For this is the message you have heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. We must not be like Cain, who was from the evil one and murdered his brother. And why did he murder him? Because his own deeds were evil, and his brother's righteous. Do not be astonished, brothers and sisters, that the world hates you.
You know, we've probably got several different kinds of translations in the room, and translation connotes interpretation, no matter what it is. If it's King James Version, it's going to be written in the worldview of somebody in the 17th century, just like Shakespeare is, because that's a translation, and it involves interpretation. This NRSV has changed the Greek, which just says brother, doesn't say anything about sister, to brother or sister, because we live in a PC world, and it's PC to have brother and sister. You know, which is okay. No big deal. It doesn't radically change the context of the text. Because we live in a PC world, and it's PC to have brother and sister.
In this context, PC has nothing to do with computers. PC means politically correct, using terminology so that no one is insulted.